Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to talk to you about a project we got going on. I've mentioned in other videos that I'm going to be posting about doing some guitar refurbishing for donations, continuing a program that my buddy started he started it years ago. But last year he passed away, and I've picked up the torch and continued that going. So this is a bass guitar project that a kid contacted me about. He reached me through a mutual friend of ours who is a teacher in the local school district, and this young fella has to do a project for school, and this is our project, his project, I should say. This is not a precision bass. It's a Glary, Glary. They're an inexpensive bass, but they're fine. I have one, actually, a 5-string version. And the young fella is a really good musician. So we want to do right by him. And he's going to play this in a like an assembly or recital kind of an environment. End of May, at the end of the school season. So how he brought this to me, was this was bare wood. He had some stickers on it, and it had been clear coated when it was new. He wanted it red. So as you can see, it's red, and this is absolutely smooth. It's beautiful. Coming out very good. So when he brought it, I wasn't in the video production creation mindset. So we don't have this from day one. We're going to pick this up from here. He's coming tomorrow to work on this. So we're going to pick up from here. So like I said, when he brought it, this was all put together. It had the single coil, volume and control, the output jacks over here, tailpiece and bridge together, and the neck. Now his neck left a lot to be desired, and he wanted a new neck. So we were able to find some money from my friend Larry's wife has a fund that is specifically for this, for people who need parts and such that I can access. So I was able to get money for a new pickup set that's pre-wired. Okay. We were able to get a new bridge and tailpiece. His old one was fine, but it was tarnished, and it wouldn't polish. It had some, see how that scratches and such. We really can do better than that. For the price of a bridge, this bridge was only like $12. So, I mean, really, I'll just order it and get it coming. And then a new neck bolt cover. And then the rest of his hardware is in this bag. Your hold down for the strings on the neck, headstock, strap locks, such like that, and the knobs are right here. So I tried ordering him a new neck, which ended up not showing up. The neck I ordered they weren't able to ship it. So I ordered this one, as it said it was for a P bass, which this is a P bass style. I just got this today in the mail. And it's unfinished, but it is a maple neck. I mean, it's a really nice neck, and it does have the Fender headstock. But if you notice right here, it's not finished. It's not fitted. It's going to need to be fitted to the bodies where I'm going with it, because the heel here is much too wide for the body. If you can see that right there, that doesn't fit. So we'll have to fit that. That's not a problem. So him and I spent some time. We sanded this body back to where it still had the clear coat filling the pores of the wood. So we didn't have to do a pore fill. We sanded it back. We filled in a little bit of like dents and such. There were only a couple. This body's in really good shape. And then we started bringing it forward with brown primer. And over the brown primer, we have put this red. And I brought it upstairs today, this morning. And I started wet sanding it with 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000. Now, as you can see, I've stopped because I don't want to sand through the clear coat. This only has 9 coats of clear coat. And I didn't want to take a chance on sanding through the clear coat, so I stopped. And I'm going to have him do the back. I did the front and sides. And this is what the back looks like without being polished. I mean, it's really not a bad finish. But I'm going to have him do this tomorrow when he's here. And I'm going to figure out this neck. If you can see, the neck still has sanding marks on it. And we have a bigger issue. So let me show you. As I said, this is for a fender, right? And this is a tuning peg for a glary. This tuning peg is 13 millimeters in diameter. If you can see, fender takes a much bigger tuning peg. In fact, when you put the lock nut, it doesn't barely cover the hole. So, two things we can do: order another neck or new tuning pegs. And I'm going to talk to him tomorrow. I've already found some tuning pegs that'll fit this for less than 20 bucks. So I would rather do that and have brand new tuning pegs that look the part. I mean, if this is a Fender, you don't want modern looking tuning heads. You're going to want clover leaves. So we're going to go, I'm going to talk to him about that. And then these frets, the edges feel really good. They just need to be sanded. The frets look all right. The neck relief, there is a little bit of reverse bow, if you can see down the edge. I already checked it with the relief gauge, and that should be easy enough to get out. And once we get that out, we can make sure all the frets are level and move forward. If we need to grind the frets, we do. Then we polish them back. Otherwise, we sand the neck and clear coat it. And that will be ready to go. The nut is glued in, so I'll have to tape that off. And that is our update for right now. And an introduction. Actually, this young fella's name is Julius. He just moved to Maine from Massachusetts. He's a senior, and this is his senior project. So I'm anxious and honored to be able to do this with him. He's doing really well. He's engaged, and he's a good musician. So I'm anxious to have him here tomorrow and move forward with this. And I know he's anxious. So we will check in with everybody tomorrow. And so now that I have the height correct, let's see if that'll focus. Okay, so I've got a smidge off of each side. And again, if it's going to focus for us. There we go. So all I got left to do is to fix our corners and go up and fit this neck to the pocket. Should be good. Are you at a point in this video where you feel like there's some missing information? You'd be correct. In my infinite wisdom, while I was filming the section of the neck and that I had dimensions, how much wider it was than the guitar pocket, I had laid everything out, measured everything with the micrometer, taken it to the shop, and I had videotaped myself how I was going to shape the neck to fit the pocket before we discovered that the scale was wrong. Then I videotaped myself routing the body after we discovered the scale was wrong. And all of those videos, me being the idiot that I am, recorded them all in slow motion. So all of that content came out useless. I apologize, but this is real life and my inexperience. So I'm going to add this to the content where that should be. So what I had done was centered the neck on the pocket of the body, figured out how much it needed to be shaved off. I shaved it off with a table saw and sanded it to fit the neck pocket. Then, as I said, we discovered that the scale was wrong. So I laid out how much the inch that needed to be routed out. I used a miniature router, excuse me, with a straight bit, and I freehanded the pocket extension that needed to be routed into the body. And from there I refit the neck. Now, as you see in this video, when I peeled the blue tape off the body after I routed it to protect the finish, I ruined the finish. Peeling the tape off, peeled off some of the spar varnish. Completely unexpected, which set me back quite a while, as you see in this video. I wish that I had thought to start recording the video from when he brought the body, the whole guitar as it was, so that we could document everything where we picked up with it already being read. That's also my fault, obviously. Being an old school person, I don't think to go to my phone as the first line of documentation. I just want to get into it and get things done. So I'm recording this just to kind of clarify why there seems to be some missing content in this video, because there is, and it was on me. So thanks for your time. Okay, I cleaned out the pocket. Let me get this pulled back. There we go. I cleaned out the pocket where the neck sets, and I hand sanded the neck to fit the pocket exactly, perfectly. And when I had it in there, it's all nice and at the bottom under there. I said, that looks like it's too high, like the string might not land to the bridge. So I I put the bridge on temporarily, and I took a steel yardstick. I set it onto the nut to there. We've got a little bit of a neck relief there, but that'll be all right. I think I can get that out and still have everything good. But that is nothing wrong with that at all. And this is supposed to be a 34-inch scale, and we are at 35. So we're gonna have to, the neck's an inch longer than the other one. So we're gonna need to figure out what we're gonna do as far as intonation, which is, one thing leading to another. This is a long scale neck, so we'll figure it out. Not a problem. Oh wait, I can check it right here already. It may have fixed itself. So no, it is a 34-inch scale to the 12-inch, and from there we should have 18 inches. So the bridge, oh crap, hang on. And I'm back. Here's the thing about YouTube videos that a lot of people don't reveal to the person who's watching. The last video showed that the neck is longer than the scale. The neck is a 34-inch scale, but we were 35 inches from the bridge to the nut, which is an inch too long. Rather than re-drill all these holes, move the bridge an inch closer to the neck, I was able to route the pocket an inch deeper. So, and in my brilliant wisdom, I decided that protecting the finish was going to be priority, so I taped the finish where I wasn't going to route with blue masking tape. I say again, blue masking tape. And when I say twice, I'm emphasizing, do not use blue masking tape. I got the thing routed and it fits really good actually. But when I peeled off the blue masking tape, it peeled off my clear coat. And the clear coat had been on there for almost 2 weeks, which should have been cured, but it still peeled it. That said, I've got to refinish the front. So I sanded it back. I feathered away the seam. This is clear coat up here. This is clear coat, but there was no clear coat here and a little spot right here. So I feathered that away, and we've got primer on now. You can almost see where the repair was. Hopefully we won't be able to see it when I get color and clear. I'm going to go with a different clear this time. I'm going to go with probably a different type of poly. It'll still be Minwax, but I was using a spar urethane on this, and now I guess I don't trust it. That said, the back still looks beautiful, and hopefully I can get the front to come back to where it is now, where it was. And I can see a low spot right there. Ugh. I thought I had that feathered better. Maybe I have to sand the whole front off. I don't know. Let that primer dry and see how it looks, and we'll go from there. We'll check in later. Good morning. Well, we have another update and bad news on the bass guitar build. As you can see, it no longer is red on the front. Where I had the clear coat come off when I had the masking tape on the body, when I was routing the extension for the neck, I had feathered it back. And when I put the primer on, you could definitely see an outline where I had not feathered it well enough, which is just not going to work. So I decided to make the entire front level, and I will hand sand. I got it down to 220 right now. It's very nice and smooth, and I will hand sand with 320 and higher around the edge, and then finish making the face smooth and start moving forward with paint. I still have the back polished, and we will bring it back to getting it where it should be. I also bought some different clear coat because I just don't trust the varnish or the spar urethane that I had used on it to begin with. So actually I'll redo the back as well once I get that far. So on that note, we'll check in later, and I will show you after I get it primed and make sure that we're not going to be able to see where the repair and damage was. Have a good one. Bye. All right, we're up in the house in the spray area. I sanded this to 600 grit, the bare wood, and we've got some primer on it and no more of those uneven lines. So the front is nice and flat. So we will let this dry, and commence to putting color on it. Check in later. Well, hello there. We're overdue for an update on the bass guitar. The last time you saw this, it was in primer. I had sanded the front down to bare wood to get rid of the ugly line across there. We now have red. I actually ended up repainting the back as well. And you can see some runs right there where I was a little heavy with the clear coat. But we are going to be sanding and polishing that right out. We've got about 8 coats of clear on this right now. So we should have plenty of thickness to do whatever sanding we need to do and polish this out. So the next step is to finish sand the neck and get that clear coated. We'll check in later. Have a good one. Bye. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If this is part of a larger video, this will just pick up from where we're at now. Last time we visited this bass, I was talking about how I had to route an inch out of the body to accommodate the longer neck to meet the scale length where the bridge is to make that 34-inch scale. And when I did that, I had taped off around where we had polished this already, and I had taped off with the blue painter's tape, and when I peeled the tape off after making the route, it peeled spar varnish. I had used spar varnish on this to seal it. It's all I had. It peeled spar varnish off, great big gob of it. So I tried feathering it with a sander, and when I put the primer on it, you could see the mark, and that just wasn't gonna cut it on, especially on the front of this guitar. So the next step was to sand the entire front down, have it all one level, repaint it, and I ended up repainting the back as well, just to make sure everything is uniform color. And then I went ahead and used a different clear. I used a Rust-Oleum clear enamel. And I got about 9 coats on this, okay? And I just started wet sanding it, and I'm using these little pads I found on Amazon. I got a pack of like 48 of them at different grits. They start at 320, I think, and go up to 3,000. Yeah, I think 3,000 is the highest that I got, which is perfectly fine, because we're only going to do up to 2,000 on this one. I've got this done to 1,500 already. So the 1,000 is done, 1,500 is done, and I've got the 2,000 ready to go for the next step. And I'm just showing, you know, the reflection that we have just with it sanded with sandpaper. We have, you know, let alone once it's polished, because the polish came out beautiful before I ruined it. So this polish should come out good, and this is a better wet sand than the last batch. It's more, this laid down flatter than the spar varnish did. Don't ask me why, but note to self, don't use spar varnish ever again on a guitar. This laid down dead flat. There are no low spots, and we still, well, that was a dent, so that's a low spot anyway. But this is gorgeous. I'm thrilled, and I'm happy. The young man that we're doing this for is going to have literally a brand new bass. The only parts of this bass that are still original are going to be the body and the back plate. These parts here, the screws, that's it. Everything else is brand new. These beautiful cloverleaf tuners came in the other day. They fit the neck perfect. They got to be adjusted for the trim rings to fit, but that's another video which we'll get to. A brand new bridge, brand new back plate for the neck. The electronics are over in the drawer, ready to go. Once we get this body polished, once the body's polished, we can start setting pickups and wiring. Yeah, it's looking really well. And we will check in later. Have a good one. Well, we're back. It has been a couple days since I sanded this down to 1500 grit. Some of these channels that you see have this AI thing that says 2 days later or 5 minutes later. So I don't have that. So I'm just going to say 2 days later. We are going to wet sand. 2000 grit. And then we are going to polish. And I don't mean sausages. Okay. And this is all we're doing, is I am thoroughly sanding. So what we don't want to do is see any red. You see how this is white right there? That tells me that I am still sanding clear coat. If we see red, we know that's bad and we went too far. We don't want to see red. Okay, so you can see how this is white. Okay. We will go all the way around. And I don't have a cloth. Hang on. Let me go get a cloth. A clean cloth. There's all of our parts. We're going to put this body together tomorrow. So I have to have this polished today and be mirror-like finish. So, see what kind of a reflection we get with 2000 grit. Yeah, da, 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 da. Let's see. It's not as light in here as I'd like it to be. We'll go over it. This is so smooth. So smooth. We'll go over it again with 2K. 2K or not 2K? 2K. Lower horn. All right. So you see where we're white still. So we have not sanded through the clear coat. Oh yeah. I don't know, can you see that? Maybe you can't from the glare of the light. But she's reflecting. I can see it. So trust me, would you? I can see it. So we are going to call that good to there. And I'm going to do this lower spot right here. So in my other video, I had showed where there was some runs from the clear. When I was putting it on, I had gotten a little heavy-handed. All that is now completely gone. No problem whatsoever. It's all worked out. Okay. Oh yeah. And we're gonna flip her over. Flip her over, rover. This really doesn't take that long. I mean, I'm videotaping this as I go. This is the first time I've taped myself actually sanding. And I could be using those larger discs. I don't really want to use the sanders per se because they tend to leave swirls. And even though I don't have a grain to go by, I know I'm still sanding with the grain. And these little tiny pads, you have to bend them up to handle them. But I haven't found that that's been a problem yet. As far as, see, now everything is white. So we're still good. To do the edge, I have to hold the guitar, so I'll have to put the phone down. I wonder if I could do the back in 2500, just to see if it would improve the reflective properties. We got 2500. Okay. 25. Okay. See how I can read Permatex on the body backwards. I can see a pretty good reflection there. Now compare this side to the 2000 grit. Actually, 2000 grit I can read better, if you can see that. So I'm going to put the phone down, and I'm going to go ahead and finish. I'm going to do the edges and have this ready to polish here in about 5 minutes. Talk to you soon. All right, we're back. As you can see, the polish did its job. It is now a mirror. You can see, be able to read everything. Reflection of the light up above. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, I say. We will just wipe off the back. And we have equally impressive reflection. The edge. So what I used was my SPT, PTSD, SPTA orbital tool. It's got they call it a rotary polisher. Okay. But it has different size heads that come with it. This is a medium head. There's a 1-inch head. It has extensions. It's got a 2-inch head. That's a 3-inch, 1-inch. And it's got another one that's larger that I don't use. But I use this 3-inch on the flat surfaces of the bodies with Meguiar's Plastex, and that cuts all of the heavy scratches. And then I go back over it with a different cloth. This is the Plastex, okay? And then I go back over it with these foam terry cloth pads with the Meguiar's, and this is what we end up with when that's all done. So this body is ready for assembly. So tomorrow my assistant's going to come by, help me with that, and the body will be done. The neck is over here, and all I've got left to do is to sand the do the fret leveling, and I can do that tomorrow while he's assembling his guitar. So I am way happy with that. Look at that reflection. Nice. And this is Rust-Oleum, I think it's called Banner Red paint. And then over the top of that is Rust-Oleum clear enamel gloss. And now it laid down flat. It was great, but when I went to and when I was sanding, wet sanding, it sanded way easier than the lacquer did that I did more coats of on my other guitars. So this is interesting how different finishes work. And I heard, some of the criticisms of my other work with the lacquers was that why do lacquers? And I'm normally an old school guy, so I want to try to do something as traditional as I can. Which is why I'm hand sanding. I prefer hand sanding because I get better results than try to do with this thing, which has this Velcro adapter, and I can use any hook and loop sandpaper on these ends, which is what I tried doing with wet sanding. I had some wet sand high grit paper, but I still ended up with swirls after 5,000 grit. So I said enough's enough. I'm going to go back and do hand sanding, and I was fortunate that I had enough clear coat on my other guitars to not sand through what was left, and it polished out just right. So this is ready for tomorrow morning, and I will have some photos and video of this after it's assembled. Have a good one, everybody. Bye. Hey, we're back. It's Sunday, gloomy Sunday. Sounds like a U2 song. Yeah, I'm going to go get my guy here in, I don't know, a couple hours, hour and a half. I'm just getting things ready and set up so we can get this body done today. We're going to install the pickups. To do that, we have to unsolder them from the volume pot right there. So I've got my soldering station out. This is my soldering station. It's also got a heat gun. This was given to me by Larry, of course, in his equipment that he had accumulated during his time with his projects. And it's got a dialable heat for both the soldering iron and the heat gun, so you don't overheat stuff. It is fantastic. I got to get it plugged in, but yeah, a buddy of mine told me what the proper temperature was for soldering melting solder. I set it. I think it's 720 degrees. I set it, and it is perfect. Really, it is. Once it heats up, the sponge is wet. We're ready to go there. We have the tuners, which fit the neck. I just finished on the neck. That's over here. I dressed the fret ends this morning. I haven't even had breakfast yet. I just wanted to get at it. I dressed the fret ends, if I can get these to focus. When you get these necks that are inexpensive, let's say, from the Jungle website, the fret ends, especially the fret ends, when they set these frets in, they press them or hammer them, and then they just nip off the ends, and sometimes they'll file them, sometimes they'll hit a sander on them, but a lot of times they will extend out past the binding, and you can catch yourself on it. And if you're playing the guitar up and down the neck, can cut you, actually, if they're not taken care of. And if they're not, it wouldn't be a very good setup. So I took a file to every fret end, knocking over, making sure that they're going to be smooth this way, and knocking over any see if I can get in there. You see how that's rounded over from the top around? I did that with a file. It wasn't like that when we got this. There's another good example right there. Right there. See how it rounds over? And how old-timers, I say old-timers, how the old school guys used to check this was they would have a nylon, and they would put the nylon on their hand, and they would run their hand down the edge of the frets. And if it caught and tore the nylon, or run in their stocking, let's say, then that fret wasn't good enough, and he had to do some work to it. Since I don't have ladies' hosiery around here, I go by my feel, and this isn't done yet. This still has to be sanded because this is not finished. This needs clear coat yet. But this is sanded to, I think 400 is where I stopped right now. But this is, all the scratch marks are gone from when we received it. It had scratches across the grain where they had belt sanded it. So this is nice and smooth now. And it fits the body. We can check that. And if you recall, I routed an inch out of this. This did end up, this little line right there. So this did end up coming back an inch so that the scale would work. So there's what the guitar is now going to look like with everything together. So with that inch routed out, where the saddle is back here at the bridge to the nut is 34 inches exactly. And the way you know that that is the scale length of your instrument is the distance from the nut to the 12th fret, right there, times 2. So the way intonation works and harmonics work are halves. So halfway from the nut to the saddle is a harmonic once it's in tune and intonation's right. Halfway between there at the 6th fret is another harmonic. Halfway between there and the next harmonic is another harmonic. So halfway. And some guys, I play with a guy that knows his harmonics and what the notes are so well, he throws them into the middle of songs. He'll be ping, 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 ping. And you're standing there playing your part going, what the heck? How does he do that? It's just not for me to know, apparently. Other than that I know that halves are where the harmonics are. He's a master of his craft. His name is Brian Jelina. He does a lot of bluegrass, a lot of family work with his family. His son Cliff is ridiculously talented as well. Wonderful songwriter. If you have a chance to look him up, Cliff Jelina. His band is called Breaking Strings, bluegrass band. They do a bunch of cruises out of Bar Harbor. They're busy folks, and of course bluegrass festivals. So I'm hoping to get to see him on the bluegrass circuit this summer, and with my ice cream trailer. I'm going to be vending at the Blistered Fingers Bluegrass Festivals here in Maine in June and August, I think they are. So on that note, I'll check in later. This next time you see this body should be complete, wired, hardware, knobs, everything ready for a neck. And the neck will be sanded and probably a first coat of clear on it. I'm going to try to get that done today. So we'll check in later. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, we are here with Julius. He's agreeable to be on the channel. This is his guitar. Say hi, Julius.
Hello.
And we are putting his guitar together. Isn't that gorgeous? I like it. Don't you like it, buddy?
Yeah.
So we're over here with his neck. We've got a handle on that. That's going to be my afternoon project, I think, is going to get that done. But we're going to get this bridge on. The ground wire is already in place. All we've got left, I think, after this are strap pins, right? For this. And the body will be done. So I'm going to put this on pause. I'm going to go dig out my amp or some way of plugging this in so we can make sure the pickups are working. I'll be right back. So we're continuing with the assembly. We have the pickups installed. He's putting the plate cover, back cover on right now. We went ahead and I got all the holes drilled. I don't have all the screws in, but I got all the holes drilled for the tuners. Those are located. I had to enlarge the holes for the press-ins. I did that with a Dremel tool with a sanding drum on it right there. Should have videotaped that as I was doing it, but I didn't think of it. I'm sorry. And so those all fit. We've got the string minder for the D and G strings. And like him and I, Julius and I were just talking, all that's left here now for this is to get this finished and locate the mounting holes and get those put in. There's the front with the knobs. Look at that shine. Oh my gosh. Reflection is right out the... I can see the trees outside through the reflection. How you like it, buddy?
It's good.
Yeah. We can wipe down that back on that. All right. On that, we'll check in later. Bye. Hey, everybody. We are back. It's the next day, Monday. Sunny Monday. Nice out. I just got a little bit of work to do in here before I go out and work in the trailer. I got Julius's custom headstock label on. I made that with a Cricut. Couple of different fonts there, and this is the one he chose. And we started the fret. We just did one fret yesterday to show him how a fret is polished and sanded and leveled, but we got the rest of them going right now. So what I have done, all the rest of these I sanded with 320, 400, and then 600 to where they're at now. And down here is where I'm polishing with this polish. And let's see if I can pick that up now. There we go. Sorry about moving the camera around. I'm going to see if I can hold everything and turn the Dremel on. This is what I'm using as a polisher head. Okay. And then I'm going to lay this down, take it right off the side. So I'm just going to load this wheel up with some polishing compound. And then I'm going to come in here and just go up one side a couple times. And all we're doing are getting rid of those 600 grit scratches and shining these frets. Okay, turn that off for a second, and then come in and wax on, wax off. Whoops. Get that back in frame for you. And then there. We have a polished fret versus an unpolished fret. And we will take a pause and get back to those. This should be ready for clear coat this afternoon, so I'm anxious to get this down there and clear coated. Take a pause. go, buddy. Good morning. So this is going to be our final video for the custom base that belongs to Julian. We did his base together as a school project. He's got that assembly coming up. We have the neck on yesterday, strings, the setup, all of the frets have been polished, leveled, neck relief is set, the string height, full setup, and it is done. I played it. I'll include a little short video of me noodling around with it. It plays wonderful. And that is the custom headstock that he wanted. I made that with a Cricut and installed that. The neck has clear coat on it, but I also did the back of the neck in 2500 grit just to smoothen it, to make it smooth so that when he plays it, there's no resistance. He can just play. So anyway, he'll be picking that up this afternoon, and it is done. Looking good. This project is complete.